glorious day out there in London. You can see behind Ian Watson there. We're joined now by the Democratic Unionist Party MP, Nigel Dodds. Nigel Dodds, thank you for joining us. Now, I can understand why you're upset to be excluded, because you've got more MPs than a number of people who are going to be included or proposed. But you don't compete against Labour, the Lib Dems or the Tories. Isn't that a reason why you shouldn't be involved?
No, well, we do compete against the Tories. The Tories do stand candidates here, and indeed they allied themselves to another Unionist party in the general election in 2010. UKIP stand here, the Greens stand here. The SDLP is allied to the Labour Party and Socialist International, and the Alliance Party here is allied to the Lib Dems, the Liberal International. So there is competition from other parties, either directly or with links to the big parties. Okay. So it would be grossly unfair to exclude the DUP from these debates.
Okay, that's fair enough. What about if you're included, and you give good reasons why you should be, what about the SDLP and Sinn Féin? Wouldn't they have a right to demand to be included as well? Because they're up against you in Northern Ireland.
Well, that's a matter for them. They haven't been saying too much about it. Some of them may wish to take part. That's for them to declare what their view is. Certainly for us, as the fourth biggest party in Parliament with 8 MPs, could play a crucial role in the next Parliament. We find it incomprehensible that once the broadcasters decide to move away from having just national parties that compete throughout the length and breadth of the United Kingdom, but then decide to include regional parties, that's the crucial difference. I can understand the argument for having the national parties, certain criteria, size, etc. That's fine. But once you include the SNP, who only stand in Scotland, Plaid Cymru, who only stand in Wales, Plaid have less MPs and less votes than us, you cannot then make any logical or political or rational argument that the Northern Ireland parties who qualify and who wish to participate shouldn't be there.
Except that, and by the way, the Tories are not running in the election in May in Northern Ireland.
Well, the Northern Ireland Conservatives, which are part of the Conservative Party
in the
party. UK, well, well, it's a bit like saying that the Scottish Labour Party is separate from Labour. It just doesn't stack up in reality.
Not really. I guess my point is the Tories aren't running. Let me put my question. The Tories aren't running. Labour's not running. The Northern Ireland political system is very different from the rest of the country. You will have your own debates, I assume, in Northern Ireland. You'll have your own debates among the party leaders involving you. Isn't that what really matters there? I mean, none of us in the rest of the UK have a chance to vote for any of the parties in Northern Ireland.
No, and you don't have a chance to vote for Plaid Cymru either, and you don't have a chance to vote for the SNP in London or the North West or North East or South West. And these arguments about local debates apply in Scotland and Wales as well.
But we can vote Labour and Tory in Scotland and Scotland and Wales. We can't do that in Northern Ireland. I mean, wouldn't you be better? What good does it do?
Andrew, let me say this. You can't have it all every which way. Adopt one argument and stick to it. Every argument you've put up, we've been able to rebut. The fact of the matter is, if the broadcasters decide to include regional parties, and they decide to move away from national parties reaching a certain criterion, then they have to include all the regions, and they have to include all the regional parties. Okay. That's just a matter of logic. Because all the arguments that you can put about the Northern Ireland political system, you can put about the devolved system in Wales or the situation in Scotland, which many people in the shires of England and in London and Manchester and Liverpool and elsewhere will not have any knowledge about either.
Just one final quick question, Nigel Dodds. I hear what you're saying and the strength that you think your case is. Have you taken legal advice? Do you think you have a legal case of being unjustly treated here?
Well, we are writing today to the broadcasters and to Ofcom about the matter. We will see what comes back, and we will certainly look at the possibility of taking further action if that is required.
Okay. Nigel Dodds, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
From the BBC Newsroom in Belfast. We're joined now by the leader